Hey everyone, it's Jack from RevZed. As we recently announced, we will be releasing our debut EP, Welcome to the Real World, on January 17th, 2026. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the message of this EP. Some of you will remember that back in June, I posted some videos to my Instagram story, a monologue as I called it, talking about a change of mindset that I had when it came to this whole idea of being a musician. It seemed to resonate with a lot of people despite not being particularly concise, but this was the basic message. I stated my intention to take as many opportunities to perform live as I possibly could, and that I planned to upload every minute of those live performances unlisted to YouTube. It was my way of rejecting the unrealistic expectations and perfectionist standards that musicians have a tendency to set for themselves in an industry that is far less rewarding than it used to be. I wanted to make performing live music, as much of it as I possibly could throughout my 20s, the ultimate goal. Not becoming a famous or a rich musician, just becoming a prolific live performing musician. I became so obsessed with the idea of keeping track not just of my live performances, but all of my musical projects that I created a playlist on YouTube called The Vault, and I went back through all of my previous live performances and projects and uploaded everything that I have done since my 18th birthday to this playlist. Then there's this hard drive. This hard drive has every performance and musical project that I could find from my very first live performance, which I did at the age of 12 in 2016. I am proud to say that this hard drive includes 129 live performances, including 37 just since I posted that monologue to my story back in June. I intend to keep up this pace, but some of you might remember that I used to post not just entire performances to YouTube, I also used to post short clips to Instagram, but I stopped doing this a few months ago. That is because I no longer want to be quite so religious about posting my performances to YouTube and Instagram. This has a lot to do with the message of a song that will take up most of Welcome to the Real World's runtime. It's called The Telescreen. The Telescreen has become the finale of most RevZed shows these days. When I sing it, I call on the audience to shut down their phones, ignore all of the AI slop that is infiltrating their social media feeds and streaming services, and to bask in the beauty of bonding with their community at a live music show. I would like to stay true to the Telescreen's message by revolving my life around social media even less than I already do. Additionally, it's pretty obvious at this point that the AI video generation models use all of the videos that you can possibly find on the internet as training data. And at the rate that I was posting videos, I was going to be sending a lot more training data to AI video generation models than the average person, which is not something that I would be proud of. So I want to limit that. I do realize that no matter how much I post, it's just going to be a drop compared to the ocean of videos that are out there on the internet, but I would still like to keep my drop as small as possible. I admit that I'm not the first person to post an anti-social media video on social media. I am aware of that irony, and I am also aware of the irony of musicians complaining so much about streaming services, yet only on very rare occasion taking their music off streaming services and doing so selectively. For those of you who are looking for an answer to this irony, whether that be because you think it's hypocritical or you're just curious for a musician's perspective, here's how I would explain it. Big tech CEOs are narcissistic bullies who are desperate for power and glory to feed their ego, and they get it by keeping us weak, sedated, unconfident in ourselves, and reliant on them. In my experience, the best way to combat a narcissistic bully is to ignore them. Do not fall for their temptations, pressure, or mockery, be completely unaffected by all of it. I think a lot of people are waking up to this fact, and it would be amazing if we could all collectively choose to ignore social media, streaming services, AI, all of it, so that these big tech CEOs would pay for their narcissism. Here's what makes it complicated. The drugs that big tech CEOs sell us to keep us sedated actually can be used as very constructive tools. For example, when it comes to social media, I never use social media because I liked the feeling of rotting my brain and I wanted to rot other people's brains. I didn't know how addictive social media could be when I first got Instagram. I got Instagram because it was how inspiring people that I admired, whether that be celebrities or friends and family, it was how they shared their messages with the world. I never used streaming services because I didn't care about musicians' wages. I used streaming services because they had the entire catalogs of the Ramones, Metallica, and Rage Against the Machine at my fingertips. These artists' music didn't sedate me, they empowered me, and they're the reason why RevZ does what it does today. However, at some point a line must be drawn in the sand where we say enough is enough. Consequences must be delivered for the way that you take advantage of us. And I'm speaking both from the perspective of a musician and a person who just feels like they've wasted their life doom scrolling. At some point, we must recognize the destructive impact that big tech has, not just on the music industry, but on people's ability to be motivated and to function properly in human society. I understand how used to using social media and streaming services that we all are, and that it is very difficult to eliminate them from our lives completely, but they can be phased out. After all, if you're my age, this technology, almost all of it, came into existence within our lifetimes. Our parents lived without this technology. It is not such a radical idea. If you care to know how I'm phasing big tech out of my life, I don't rely on social media to find out about local events anymore. I get outside and talk to people, or, maybe I receive text messages from people about events, local events that they are going to, and I also spot posters. As for streaming services, I have canceled my YouTube Music Premium subscription, and I now really only use the free version for music practice. Otherwise, I'm getting into the habit of using CDs. Here's the bottom line. If you are sick and tired of AI slop and doom scrolling and data tracking and unfair wages for musicians, then the telescreen is an anthem for you. If you are tired of narcissistic bullies trying to keep you down, then Welcome to the Real World is a record for you. Welcome to the Real World is also a record that will be available on streaming services, but we promise you that the best way to experience our songs is with our wonderful community of fans at a live show, and we hope to see you at one in 2026. Thank you. Welcome to the Real World! Welcome to the Real World!